the national bilingual program in Colombia? Is it an imposition or is it an opportunity? Well, actually, Colombia is already bilingual with the language of Creole, but it's not considered as a bilingual international because that's not English. And in Colombia, we can consider someone is bilingual when they can speak three references: Spanish English, Spanish French, or Spanish German. Why? Simply because those three, or one of those three, makes a high level of employment in a global market. But even in Colombia, even if it's bilingual with a native language, it hasn't been recognized because actually we, the Colombians, we haven't gave the importance to the national language that we have here. In 2004, the Ministerio de Educación Nacional, called MEN, created a bilingual program which tries to reach B1 level for students in school. The minister gives some resources that we can call the basics standard of competence in foreign languages. But all of that just has caused a great debate in what's that? Why do we have to be bilingual? So the debate is imposed or an opportunity. And that debate, it wasn't just back then in 2004, it still keeps going on today. So Colombia has come with a common European framework of reference. And minister says that it's flexible, that we can use it because it can be adaptable to the Colombians' needs. Some researchers have criticized the common European framework reference because they call it as an imposed. And this keeps going on. And actually some universities, really named universities such as la Universidad Nacional, such as la Universidad de Antioquia and the Universidad del Valle, has found the same perspective, that it's just imposed, that the common European framework has been imposed to us for Colombia. And unfortunately, students and teachers we are caught in the middle of the debate. We just don't know what to do. We just can sit here and watch them to fight each other, trying to consider if it's imposed or actually if it's an opportunity to people here in Colombia. But the problem is that they think that people can reach a B1 being a student. They cannot reach the level B1 because for them it's unrealistic. In a European perspective, they have called that the common European framework reference is going to cause major impact in our educations because, what the minister says, it's flexible, it's capable to be adaptable in our needs and in our context. So they understand that it could be modified to our needs, to our context, to our culture, to what we need. And another fact they have considered in why the program is bilingual and actually with English is that the bilingual program and the ministers have considered that the English has been called the universal language. So that's why the program is bilingual with English and Spanish between. And the fact that they only consider English and Spanish as bilingual as the center of our program has worried a lot of people in Colombia about what's going to happen with the other languages, what's going to happen to the Creole and all the Colombian native language that we have.
The National Bilingual Program in Colombia, imposition or opportunity, also makes us to think about what is the position of the Spanish language. In many private schools, science and maths are taught by using English, and some academics think that it makes that people think that Spanish is not used for scientific purposes. But teaching English is something that is looked at the fashionable aspect, because here at the moment in Colombia with the Colombian program, English is seen as the language that some people, some elite people can learn, and so they become bilingual. And some criticism that they do to the Colombian program for the bilingualism is the position of the culture and society, because when we are teaching English as a teachers, we don't take into account the culture and the society, and sometimes we look just on the form of teaching English and learning English, but not on the background of the language as itself, because we have to take into account that it is spoken in a society, and this society has a specific culture. That's why some of the standards that the ministry is implementing, they are not coherent with the Colombian context, because we as Colombian people, we have different contexts from the Europeans and from the Americans. That's why Colombian policies have a mixed discourse. On one hand, they talk about the importance of learning English and be competent in a language, and how English can improve our BC, and how can make us to get better jobs and be in a competitive world. But on the other hand, they also talk about the necessity of open our minds and learn about other cultures and respect other cultures. But they are not taking into account our own culture as our Amerindians languages. Because as we are talking about bilingual, it's not just in Spanish and English. We have to take into account that we have some indigenous people and they talk their own language, as Wayu, for example, and they become bilingual too, because they speak their native language and Spanish language. So in that case, we become bilingual too, and this is an aspect that bring us an opportunity, because there is a program with take into account ethnographic and take into account native people, and this project that is called Ethno-Education Mother Tongue Project looks for the conservation of our native language, besides the well use of Spanish, and besides the learning of English. And the English can help us to generate better jobs, better position, social status, but we are also looking for the necessity that all students participate in this program. That means that all children in elementary or primary school and secondary, at the end of the secondary, they have to have and my minimum level of English, that is B1 or B2. So all the teenagers have the opportunity to learn English and to develop good skills in this language. Thank you very much.